You could start a business from zero. I wouldn't do that today. Knowing what I know today, I would just go grab a business that already has revenue, already has employees, already has branding, already has a location, already has products, already has problems. I would rather a company that already has problems than starting a company and I don't even know what the problems are going to be.
The whole purpose of this show is to engage with business owners and be able to answer questions for people that will give them some insight and perspective on how to grow and scale a business. Not only leadership, but real life examples. This is the golden moment. I would do business with you right now.
Hey guys, how are you? It's Brandon, Dawson, and Dwayne.
Good evening, everyone.
Scottsdale, Arizona. Welcome to 10X Owners Live on another beautiful Scottsdale Tuesday evening. We're excited to be sharing our time with all of you wonderful people. And we're going to be talking about a great subject tonight. We're going to be talking about how to buy a business with no money.
Yeah, no, that's very exciting. We're excited about doing this. We've just launched 10X Buy Sell to help business owners out there get the most value for their business, either when buying a new business to add on their existing portfolio, or either selling the business they're currently in.
Yeah. So look, here's the deal. I'm Brandon Dawson. If you're new to 10X Owners Live, I'm Brandon Dawson, co-founder, CEO of Cardone Ventures with my remarkable business partner and his wife, Grant and Elena Cardone. Natalie, my amazing wife, who runs operations for Cardone Ventures. She is not with me tonight. Instead, I have the amazing Dwayne Baker. I've got Dwayne. So listen, Dwayne, I recruited him away from 15 years at Ernst & Young, running their global business transformation program. His average consult working with clients was what, 4 or 5 million a year?
Yeah, 4 or 5 million. Most of my clients were, Fortune 50 type clients, big global brands that, everyone on the phone or on the call here would know. Decided to come join Brandon. I wanted to work with an owner founder. And first time I saw Brandon and just started following Grant, I was like, man, I want to come work with these guys. So
the corporate guy bailing on the corporate life to come to work with a couple renegades who are doing it differently. So we're excited to have Dwayne. He's been with me now. You've been here a year,
just over a year,
over a year. And we've got a lot of phenomenal initiatives going on. In fact, Dwayne and I were just on a field trip. Was that a couple days ago?
Yeah, it was actually last week.
It's hard to track when you're working every day, 7 days a week. It's hard to remember what day it is. So Dwayne and I actually have a business that we're closing on using the exact same principles that we teach in our buying business accelerator program that Grant Cardone and myself rolled out. And so we're going to be talking about this because here's the thing. There's lots of ways to become an owner of a business. And I think this is the most important thing to understand is you can be an intrapreneur. You could be someone who works for somebody else and still become an owner in a business, which is exactly the track Dwayne's taken. He's like, hey, I don't want to go found my own company. I want to become a partner with you and Grant, just like Grant and I and Natalie and Elena partnered. Dwayne's partnering with us because he wants to be an owner in our businesses. And so what I want to stress to you is that so many of you as business owners, you hold on so tight to wanting to own everything. And I get why you do that. A big reason of it is most of you have heard horror stories about equity being used in business. And you and I have spent a lot of time sorting that out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, a lot of times we see business owners make the mistake of giving equity away too soon.
Mm-hmm.
And then when, they actually need to use it to raise capital or make a strategic hire to bring someone on, they don't really have anything left of any value that someone's interested in. So,
and they have a screwed up capital structure. So this is not what we're talking about. In fact, we just had a remarkable financial essentials weekend. Was that this weekend?
Yeah, this was 2 days ago.
And we had a large group in here, business owners learning how to build compensation plans, learning how to use equity and the right kind of equity with the right structures. So we're just going to bypass most of that and talk about buying businesses with little to no money down. And the example of that is the business that we flew out that we're in the process of closing on. And in that case, we've got a business that we'll talk more about it once it's closed, because I think we should probably not talk a lot about how we feel about certain things right now. But I think it's going to be I know it's going to be a great transaction for us. So if you look in, Ashley, the link you're using there, I don't believe is the right link. I believe you need to be using the link that let's see. Somewhere in here, it says add link. So Ashley, you need to double check that link. So there you go. That's the link, 10xownersonly.com. So look, if you're interested in this program, then you need to go to 10xownersonly.com, because we are going to select anybody that goes to 10xowners.com and registers for this program. We are going to select a small group of people, and we're going to do something special for them. So we're excited about this program. I spent with Grant Cardone probably, we did 30 hours of I know for me, I spent probably 15 hours in the studio, and I know Grant, he said, this is the most studio time I've spent in years. So we will put a lot of energy and effort into this program for y'all to be able to understand the process of how to find, how to negotiate, how to get financing, all these different elements, so that because here's the thing, the big theme, the big message here is there's $10 trillion of wealth transfer happening in the next 8 years in small to mid-sized businesses. So we launched 10X Buy Sell with Grant, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. And we're already working on, probably a couple $100 million worth of deals for our clients in their markets. So what we want to do is when you're working with us, you don't need to ask us if we see that you're running an operationally sound business. Okay. So if you've been to our programs through the 360s, if you've been to the leadership program, if you're in our strategic business unit, because then we're managing your business. If you platformed with us so that you understand your market, you understand your strategies, like people that go all in with us and get operationalized. So that's like hiring an engineer to build your engineering plans for building a building or a house. And then once it's built, you understand how the process works. And then once we're managing that for you and with you, then when we find things to buy that augment your business or create massive value for your business, then we can go find those things and bring them to you with an integration strategy, because we know we have an operator on the ground. And the thing I would say is that our mission is to create 1 million 10X businesses. And the way we do that is by not only helping you grow and scale your business, but helping you knock out your competition by buying businesses that are weaker than you in your marketplace. So yeah, there you go. It's great. I'm on module 2, video 10. That's awesome, man. There's a lot of modules. So Dwayne, what do you think about when we think about businesses and going in and helping our clients buy them and negotiate the deal and then integrate them? What do you think are the most important elements of that process?
Yeah, I mean, the big one is, we think, really when you're growing your existing business, there's really just two strategies. There's a growth strategy, just to kind of build it yourself, or there's a buy strategy. And it's always easier to buy revenue than it is to just grow it organically for the most part. Yep. Our businesses, when we're looking for our clients to go out and finding business, we're looking for businesses, one, that are in markets where they are not currently operating. So you're going to give them some geographic advantages. Also, we're looking for things where we can add value, right? A lot of times we see businesses and business owners who have just gotten lazy. And the ones that we're working with, we're helping them optimize their processes, put the right strategies in place to grow and scale. And then we go out and we find a business and say, look, if you just change one or two simple things, you can easily double their revenue.
Yep. And so when we're doing the integration strategy, for looking at businesses and markets where we're already managing for our clients, right? So when we do that integration strategy, explain the advantage of the fact that if we're already managing our client's business, how easy it is for us to bridge over to integrating the new business into our owners versus guessing what it would look like if you didn't have that done.
Yeah, I mean, as part of our platform process, we work with most of these business owners to find out what their 10-year expansion strategy is and where they should open up locations next. So I have a team that's going out every day and looking at 25 plus businesses a day that would fit in nicely with our current clients. And I can tell you, just working with our teams, knowing how to create employee maturity models for your people, creating a vision for where your business is going, and then being able to supplement with all the marketing strategies, all the financial strategies that we're current in processes that we're implementing. When you go buy a business, it's really just a turnkey. Within 90 days, you can have it as operational as your current business.
100%. And there's some questions too, like, is this the same as 10X Advisor Network.com? The answer is yes. We just have different links so we can track. We can track where people are coming from because we have so many different ways we're promoting this program right now. So I want to make sure it's one of the things we're doing. Look, this is one of the things that we've made a commitment to do in our organization. And that is do a much better job of tracking where content that we deliver, where it's driving value within the organization. So we know which channels, and yeah, so which channels that we're using. And this is something that Grant's been working with us on, right? So look, when you have a business that's having so much success that you're not paying attention to every single detail, that's okay. But the whole idea, if you want to get bigger, you want to get more robust, you want to get more accurate, you got to track the different activities you have going on. And so this is something that we've been working on. And so our link for the Owners Live show for this is, guys, do you want to put the link back in there? 10xownersonly.com. Some people thought that the link wasn't working, but it's working. It's working for all of us that are trying it. So good. So you know what? Let's answer some questions. I think that's always the fun thing to do.
Absolutely.
Answer some questions. So let's pick somebody. Let's just start with who do you want to pick, Dwayne? You pick.
Let's see here. I see Dr. G with his hand.
All right, let's go, Dr. G. Let's go. Let's make it a good question, Dr. G. You always got good questions. How's your business doing right now?
Well, we had our best week we've ever had last week. So
yeah, that doesn't
that's
surprise
good.
me.
And we're headed for the same revenue this week. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome, dude. I know you got, so everybody knows when Dr. G when I met him a couple of years ago, he was doing about 400 grand a year, did $1.2 million or $1.3 million last year. What's your target for this year, Dr. G?
Our target's 2.5 this year. We had a pretty rough start to the year because of a bunch of ice and snow and stuff, but came right off of that, working with the SBU team, got some marketing going, and we never really wavered. So it all came into last week and this week and next week looking like we're headed back on track for that goal.
That's awesome. I just want to tell everybody watching, look, every business has good days and bad days. It's just like, depending on where you live in the country, you're going to have 4 seasons. You're going to love some of those seasons and you're not going to like all of them. It's just part of the process. So what do? You dust it off and you get back at it. So what's your question, Dr. G?
Well, the question I had, and I did type it in the chat, was even if you're on the SBU team, that's something obviously they're gonna help with. Should this program still be useful? I mean, obviously, how is it useful, I guess, is the question. Well,
there's 30 hours of content from Grant and I teaching you how to find the deals, negotiate the deals, integrate the deals, get lending on the deals, how to do due diligence on the deals, what to look for, what not to look for. I think that if you want to become an expert in buying businesses with little to no money down, what kind of loans to get, who to negotiate that with, that's what this program is. It's comprehensive. It honestly, it's probably the most comprehensive thing I've ever done for one specific program. And I know for Grant, because this is something very important to us. If our mission is to create 1 million 10X businesses, we're going to have to find people that we can develop, because remember, building a business, once the what you do works, it's who you do it with and how you do it. And it's understanding the cycles of scaling that we talk about in the break points. So in Dr. G's case, yeah, the SBU team can help the integration strategy, but they're not going to go find the deals for you. 10X buy sell could find some of those deals because we're out fishing in the markets. But look, there's nothing better. If you're interested in growing through acquisition, then you got to do that. You got to go out and prospect local businesses and network and get out there. And I talk about how to do this in this program, like how to go and make yourself ever present. And Dr. G, what you talk about is what people know you for. So if you're out saying, hey, look, I'm looking to expand my businesses, I'm looking to acquire some businesses, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that, you'll find those deals versus not talking about it and waiting around for somebody else to do it for you.
Yeah. And the other thing I would add to that is, you're thinking about, these are skills that every business owner needs to know, right? You got to understand when you see something in your local marketplace, whether it's a good opportunity or not, and then how you can go about actually purchasing it. And so it's not as daunting to you.
Exactly. It's a great question, dude. And congratulations. Keep
What
your
a
head
great
down
answer.
and keep grinding. I know you threw that question out there just for everybody else. I know how you are, dude. You're always helping us out.
Well, got to do what you got to do. Hey, I like helping people that help me. So I appreciate you guys.
Awesome, brother. Thank you, man. Good seeing you. I assume I see you at GrowthCon. Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, of course. All right, Joe. How about Joe? Let's bring Joe on.
Hey, how you doing, Brandon? Can you hear me?
Good, Joe. How are you, buddy?
Pretty good. I just had a question about, you guys touched on a little bit about using equity. So I'm a painting company. I want to grow and scale and try to franchise, but I keep getting sucked into the day-to-day, and I want to use equity, to try to bring on some partners, even in like a limited, maybe 10% shadow equity, but then increase that as the company grows. Obviously, you can't just throw that to somebody right away. So I was just wondering what's like the process of doing that, or trying to lay it out to people so that they can see kind of the vision of that.
Yeah. So let me ask you, how large is your business? How many employees?
It's small. I only have a few employees. I mean, I'm doing like 250 to 300,000 a year.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's no point in talking about equity at that point, to be honest with you. The business is too small. And so you're not going to find somebody. I just remember law of the lid. John Maxwell talks about the law of the lid. You can't bring somebody that knows how to run a $5 or $10 or $20 million business in to go to work for you if you're doing $300,000 to $500,000 a year. So what you get is people that are underneath the ambition to make $300,000 to $500,000 a year, and you got to pull them up. So trying to convince somebody that actually personally probably wants to make $100,000, 80 to 125,000 to run a business that's worth millions of dollars by giving them any interest in your business is probably not going to work that size. So once you're up 3 million, 5 million, that's where you should be talking about. And you've developed that first row of team members and somebody. So we talk about breakpoint 100,000 to 3 million, breakpoint 2 is 3 to 8. It's in breakpoint 2 that you really start, because breakpoint 1 is what you do. Breakpoint 2 is who you do it with. Breakpoint 3 is how you do it. And then breakpoint 4 is who you do it with again, but that's the leadership you developed. Well, breakpoint 4 is 25 million bucks. So somewhere between breakpoint 2 and breakpoint 4, that team of people that you should be thinking about equitizing to the organization, using a structure that's both tax beneficial for them and you, but also supports the future growth of the business, which is what we talk about in finance essentials and things like that. But if you weren't doing more than 10 million in revenue, I wouldn't even be talking about equity with people, because the people you're talking to about it, they're not going to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
So here you can move this like this. We got a text that Dwayne is a little too far away from the mic. This guy, when you get around the smart guys that are always analyzing everything that's going on, they talk a little quiet.
Yeah, just a little quiet in here. One thing I say with what Brandon said with the equity piece, I mean, you got to think that whoever's going to take equity in your business, like, it has to be tangible too. You saying you're doing $300,000-$400,000 a year, just less than $1 million a year. I mean, the business in itself is probably only worth $500,000, and then saying I'm gonna give 10% away, it's $50,000 in value. And that may not be large enough for somebody to say, yeah, I'm willing to go all in with you. Still too far away.
Jeff Jessen says lean into it.
Lean in.
There you go. Don't be afraid of it. It ain't going to bite you back.
This big mic, I thought it was stronger than this.
It ain't going to bite you back. This guy doesn't spend a whole lot of time in front of the camera.
No.
He did his hair though for tonight, which is good. All right. So listen, we got another question. Let's bring another question. Let's bring Flemez in. Hey buddy, how are you, man?
How you doing, man?
Good to see you.
Good seeing you too. So I got like 2 questions. I want to know like what's an indicator like to know if your KPIs are like working and like when to change them up when it's not working.
Yeah, dude, good question. Hey, by the way, just tell me how your business is doing. So tell everybody where it was last year and what you're doing right now.
Okay, so right now we're currently just on track of breaking in to like 100K. So
yeah, and where were you a year ago when you first started?
when we started, we was honestly like maybe doing like 20 or 30 around there.
Yeah. So look, so the reason I tell you this is because this is a good dude. You know, he's been showing up at all the sales execution workshops, the different accelerator programs, coming to all our programs. I think you went to the 360 too, didn't you?
No, I didn't go to the 360 yet.
Okay, but you've been in the accelerator because
Yeah,
maybe it was
the
scale up
accelerator
program.
and
So look,
the
some
higher-
people I recognize that they just keep showing up and fighting their way through. And so he's fighting his business to 100,000. You got to respect the grind, man. And so I love the fact that's right. I respect the grind and while you're pursuing something you love to do. Now, here's the thing. You got to watch those KPIs need to continue to grow, but you need to figure out, you know what I'm going to tell you, because you've heard it several times from me. You got to get to $250,000 of revenue by yourself, or you don't have a scalable business. So what you need to do, those KPIs you need to be keying in on is, doesn't mean you can't get support. Doesn't mean you can't have part-time people helping you. It doesn't mean you can't get virtual assistants and things like that. Right. But if you can't find a way to claw your business to $250,000 of revenue per employee, you're going to have a very difficult time building a business versus doing something you're passionate about that you love doing. So your key KPI is $250,000 of revenue for a cost structure with you included in it, less than $90,000 a year cost.
Okay.
So that's your second KPI. So with what you got, so say today it's costing you 30 grand to be in business, right? With all the stuff you pay for, but you're not paying yourself anything. Let's just pretend you're not. You need to add yourself into that and say 90 grand a year needs to generate 90 grand a cost needs to generate $250,000 of revenue. So I just had this conversation with some people. I flew today with one of our clients that I'm personally mentoring, FuzzleTube. I flew to Costco today. I took them with me on my plane to go up and negotiate with Costco. We're premature for that, but I wanted them to experience it. And I wanted to see what that negotiation looks like. And it was an eye opener. But here's the thing, you know, all of a sudden when you're doing a deal with someone like that and they're saying minimum order's got to be $3 or $4 million, you have to front all the money. If we can't move it off the shelf and we discount it, you got to cover half of it. If anybody sends anything back, you got to send new stuff out for the warranty and cover it. And all of a sudden you realize that the risk. So this was my analogy with them today when we were flying back. I said, guys, this is like you went out to the ocean, you went fishing in a 16-foot fishing boat and you caught a whale. And you're so excited that you might get this whale and they get us up to the water. And you realize if you try to get that whale in the boat, it may just topsize you and sink you. And if the whale takes off, it's going to take you with him. So the best thing to do, Selena's on here. She's listening to this because we were having this conversation. I wanted to give them perspective, but it also gives me content for all of you, because what they realize is we need to get bigger. Grant talks about size matters, 10xing matters. You must get bigger if you want to take advantage of massive opportunities. And so for you, dude, you just got to keep grinding. Your KPI is 90,000 a cost. You must generate 250, and that includes your cost of goods. So it includes right? Well, I guess it doesn't include cost of goods, but it costs all your labor costs, your revenue per employee. So 90,000 of labor costs is what your target is. And then $250,000 of revenue for that cost. Now you're going to have other costs. You're going to have your product costs, your labor costs, your marketing costs, your general and administrative costs. But those are your two targets. And then you got to break that $250,000 down into a monthly goal. So that's 220, or that's $22,000, $22,500 a month. That's your monthly target.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you got to break your monthly target into an average of 30 days. So you're talking $800 a day, I believe. Is that right? 24, 800
yeah.
times 30 is 24.
Close enough.
So look, you know, $700. So you got to set a target, $700 a day. And that means you're working 7 days a week. If you're working 5 days a week, that number goes to basically $1,100 a day.
Mm. Okay.
Right? You got to break your targets down into those KPIs, and you got to fight to win every day. And the goal is, it's just like climbing that rock sheer. The goal is you can't stop and go like, oh my gosh, it's way up there. Oh my gosh, what if I fall? The resilience to stay focused and keep climbing is what it's going to need, because you got to condition yourself and the people, because then when you go add somebody to your business, they see what they need to do the same thing. Now, Dwayne, you were working with businesses. What was your average employee count of businesses you were working with?
Oh man. I mean, most of the businesses I work with had at least, 50,000 employees.
Okay, now, okay, I want to put this on scale. Can you imagine trying to solve a problem where you've got, remember, Gallup poll says out of 100 million workers, 18% are disengaged or are actively disengaged. They actually admit that they're sabotaging the company. Now, I want you to do this math. 50,000 employees, 18% of 50,000 employees. Okay. So you're talking about 10,000 employees could be actively disengaged, and you got to go figure out who they are and how to inspire them to move up the connection ladder and contribution ladder. So you guys all think you got problems right now. I'll tell you, brother, getting you to 250 with $90,000 of labor costs is probably going to be easier than turning a 50,000 employee business around. So enjoy the moment, because, it's in those wins. It's in those wins. Yeah, go ahead and show it, JC. It's in those wins that you really appreciate when you do arrive in your bigger goal attainment. You go back and remember all these little things. And that's what I was telling Fluzzletube. At the end of the day, enjoy this moment, because you got awareness and stuff. It should inspire you to get massive, to get big. And so, look, I'm so excited about GrowthCon, because we're going to be talking about so many remarkable stories. But to get back on topic, tonight is about how to buy a business with no money down. Let's put the link in, guys, on how to buy a business with no money down. I think there's a picture. So JC, you're going to show that picture, or Selena, you're going to bring it on and show that picture, JC? Look at that good looking picture. That was today. Now, some of you might be saying, that doesn't look like the 10X jet. The 10X jet's bigger, smaller than Grant's, but bigger than that. So look, the 10X jet's in getting a paint job and getting its annual inspections. So that's my backup that I use. That's a buddy's jet. I'm going to tell you a funny story, because it's storytell time. Right. I told Selena, I told them today, what's interesting is when I started shopping for a jet, that jet that you guys saw in that picture was managed by the management company that manages all my friends' jets. And I was telling him about the first time I ever flew on a private jet with my mentor back in 2001, and how I never, ever, ever forgot what it was like for the first time getting on somebody's private jet, flying on it, we were flying to play golf, actually, at Castle Pines. Nice. And this guy sold his business for $6 billion. And he was someone that taught me how to acquire businesses. And I was telling the pilots when I was looking for a jet 2 years ago, this story. And I told them that I'd never forget that I flew on a Challenger 604, I think, a 601 or 604. And so they said, oh, we have one of those in our fleet. So when we go to look at the plane you want to buy, let's fly that over there, and you can fly in it. Maybe you want to buy interest in that plane. So we got on the airplane and we're flying, and the captain and I are talking, And I'm like, yeah, this guy just reminds me. I mean, I haven't been on one of these since then. And he sold his business to Vivendi for $6 billion. He ended up becoming a co-owner of the Phoenix Suns. And I tell him this whole story, and all of a sudden the pilot looks at me and he goes, Phoenix Suns, what are you talking about? And I said, yeah, the guy's jet that I flew on, I told him what his name was. And I said, he was a partial owner of the Phoenix Sun. He goes, that's the jet we're on. So the jet that you saw in that picture, they bought when Dick died, he was a partial owner of the Phoenix Suns. They bought that jet and they refurbished it. So can you imagine, here I am 20 years later flying on my actual mentor's jet. And I got to share that experience. And so, you know, it's like these little things in life matter. And so I think that this is the thing you got to, like, when I talk about enjoy the experience, take it all in, because one day you're going to get busy and you're going to have hundreds of employees, 50,000,
50,000.
if you're lucky.
10,000 doing nothing. Trying to sabotage your business.
Oh my God, I don't even know that. I would love to feel like what that feels like.
Yeah, Grant, I've heard Grant say it so many times. He says, you want to get big. And he talks about, he says, I want to be like Microsoft. I want to have thousands of employees doing nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Can you
what
imagine
happens
being
there.
so successful in business? And Grant talks about this. I want to get so big that I can have thousands, tens of thousands of employees doing nothing, and I still am killing it. In fact, speaking of the man, I got a little text that might suggest he's joining us for 10X Owners Live. There he is, Grant Cardone.
Whoa, 1000% I'm here, Brandon. Come on, love you, man.
Man, it's so good to see you. Is that a new shirt? That looks like a new shirt.
Fresh
Yeah,
cash flow.
That looks good, especially when you got a rock solid chest. Awesome. Hey, the guy's pinned you. How are you, buddy? I know you got a lot you're working on.
Sorry, Brandon.
You got a lot you're working on, getting ready for GrowthCon, and I know there's going to be a ton of surprises.
Oh my gosh.
Can't wait.
Yeah. We're still adding people to the list right now. Like I think we found 18 premier seats today. I'm telling Jared every day, I'm on Jared, hey, I want to add 2 more speakers to this thing. He's like, Grant, we're already like, this is already a rock concert. And now you're adding people. I said, there's 2 people. I was on the phone with a major comedian today, and he's like, Grant, man, he just can't do it. I was talking to this guy, his manager, and I said, before you tell him, before he tells me no, I want to tell you what I've done. I want you to bring this message back to him of what I've done in my life. Okay. And I started like, I told Elena this story earlier, and she's like, I said, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. I like 5 or 6 big things I've done in my life. When you tell him, and by the way, I got $5 billion in real estate. I got a partner that we're going to probably sell our business for, it could be up 40 to $50 billion. You tell that guy, one of the most important people on the planet, if he says no, this is who he's saying no to. And then I sent him a text. I said, when you go tell this guy, you tell him this is who he's saying no to, or I don't have time for, or I can't find the time, or I'm not sure I can do it. So like that message for all of you out there, folks, do big things. You will get the attention of other people. Doing big things is not just about money and cars and trophies and, you know, living the high life. It's so that you get your way in life, so that you start winning more in life, so your kids can see you winning more. And, you know, my kids think I can do anything, not because, you know, not just because I'm bigger than them, because they see the stuff I do. And so they come to me and say, Papa, can you get so-and-so to, can we meet Mr. Beastie? I'm like, yeah, maybe. So then I put that on my agenda to figure out how to make that happen, right? But they believe I can do that because they see what I do. And your employees will believe in you. Your employees will be inspired by you. Your employees will only become more competent because of what they do, not because of what you tell them to do. And they will only do more because they see you doing more. And you're going to be disappointed because you're going to do, you guys are going to operate at 10X, and they're going to operate at probably 2X. And you're going to be disappointed, frustrated, This is what Brandon talks about, the breakage, why you break, right? You try to add people and it doesn't happen. We've all been disappointed. So you just got to keep thinking bigger, got to keep adding people to your customers, marketing, employees, partners, inventory, trying stuff. I mean, it's last thing I'll say, Brandon, we can just open it up, but I have gotten so good at losing. I am literally a professional loser, but I've never learned how to quit.
G, tonight we were focusing on the how to buy a business with no money down program you and I created.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of interest in that. And I was explaining that our mission is to create 1 million 10X businesses. And you and I recognize that in order to do that, we need to find an army of people who have the desire to become a 10X business. And part of all the activities and things, and the reason you do GrowthCon and the business boot camps and all this stuff that you do and create the training for how to develop team members and get them to perform optimally, is so that we can achieve that mission and help other people succeed. And we just need people to opt in and say, hey, I want that success. Talk a little bit about how much effort we put into this program, because I know you and I spent a lot of time in the studio reading and shooting videos and collaborating on this. I think it'd be interesting for people to hear from you what got your attention about this program.
Because this is the fastest way for me to extend my success, right? You could start a business from zero. I wouldn't do that today. Knowing what I know today, I would just go grab a business that already has revenue, already has employees, already has branding, already has a location, already has products, already has problems. I would rather a company that already has problems than starting a company and I don't even know what the problems are going to be. Because the company that has problems already, at least it has, it could be, there's 32 million businesses in America. Most of them are failing. Most of them have an owner that's probably outdated from technology. None of them know how to market. None of them. There's 32 million businesses in America. Nobody's figured out marketing at all. So I know if you don't win the marketing game, if you can't win the marketing game, you're probably a failing business. Okay, now you got all this new technology coming in with companies that are 12 years old, 13 years old, 6 years old. They're going to fail. Okay, they're going to fail because this guy he's already in movement of quitting. Him and his wife have been talking about it. The wife and the husband are talking about it. Let's just sell this damn business and go on a vacation. COVID hit, COVID accelerated all that. So this is the fastest way for us to get, I can't keep bragging about how much money I'm making, folks. Nobody, that doesn't sell tickets to anything. That doesn't endear people because I make more money. It just makes more people hate me. But if I could switch it up and start talking about, Brandon, you and me and Natalie today were figuring 1,100 people have gone through 10X 360. That's a $40,000 course. And we have increased their revenue around $600 million, almost $1 billion in new revenue in a year. But most people can't afford $40,000, okay? That's 1,100 businesses. How do you get to 1 million? You make it affordable, you make it easy, and you show people a way to buy a business without credit, without money, without finances, without a bank, literally getting somebody. You could literally, there's businesses in America that you could buy and get money back at close. So that's why I'm excited about this because this thing could be, you see me playing in a lot of spaces. The reason is I'm trying to expand my brand. An octopus has 8 legs. Look at what he can do.
And we're not short of opportunities. I mean, the reason we launched Grant said, look, if we're going to build this program, it was on the scoping document. So he said 6 months ago, let's launch 10X Buy Sell, which is our brokerage for buying and selling businesses. We look at thousands of businesses a month. And so when you combine that with the thing that we need people that want to own businesses. So the easiest way for us to find people that want to own businesses is to go through the program, be able to ask great questions, come to our events, build a relationship. How did I end up partnering with Grant Cardone? I went to his event. I studied his material. I was able to explain how I could fit into the things he's building. And I showed where I could help and collaborate. And then I showed him where I needed help so that I could do the things I wanted to do. Like, I was clear on what I wanted to accomplish, and I knew what my limitations were, and I knew what I needed a partner to do. And what Grant and I did is we went back and revisited how we got to where we're at right now. And we said, we need to create a program for everyone to be able to do that and make it affordable. That was his number one thing, is not everybody can spend 40,000, but everyone can spend 1 or 2,000. So let's put the energy, let's put the effort, let's put the stuff in place, which we did. And it's available to you, 10xownersonly.com. And basically, this is our program to help you get educated based on everything he and I have been able to do in our career, so that we can help you find a business that you can own and become part of our partnerships as we
And guys,
grow.
look, it doesn't matter where you live or what you've done with us or haven't done with us. You could live in Germany, or you could live in Germantown, Tennessee. You could live in, I mean, probably not going to work in Ukraine right now because of all the troubles. But look, and you know, look at the chaos going on in the world right now. You guys don't take for granted your business. And there's I had a guy today tell me, I'm worried about my company now because of what's going on in Russia. Well, see, he's looking for a reason to quit. Somebody will end up owning that business. Remember that Warren Buffett has never started one company ever in his career. That's why what Brandon did with me was so smart. Okay. He came along and said, hey, let's just do a 50-50. And I'm going to get in your ecosystem, because he and Natalie heard me say, I want 8 billion people to know my name. Now, how do I get to 8 billion people? Well, the best way to do it, I could go do the Mother Teresa thing and just start, you know, building homes and schools in Africa. Or I could start making pods of people around the world successful. I think that that's going to be a faster way. It's a faster way to safe point my name and what I've done. Again, nobody listens to you until you do something. And that's where I started with that conversation earlier. You got to do something, guys and gals. By the way, happy International Women's Day. 10X to the ladies. So we all got to do something bigger, no matter how long you've been in this ecosystem, man. If you haven't done something big yet, hang in there. Don't quit. Just keep pushing forward. I promise you it'll happen. I promise you that. If you don't quit, it will happen. And I can't tell you how important it is for me to talk about your success. Our 10X Growth Conference this year, this is already happening now. We literally sold every ticket without promoting the event. Now the only way to go to the event is virtual. I think there's eight premier seats left. That are 8 seats that somebody can't come to because they can't come. So well, how do you do that? How do you sell an event out? How do you sell a high price ticket out and you don't even promote it? Because you keep building your audience out. Our goal in the future is that 10X Growth Conference will only be our partners, and there will never be a ticket sold. So how do you do that? You got to expand. How do you protect yourself? There's only one way to protect yourself. Only one way. Expand. It's the only way. How do you protect your trademark? A lawyer can give you a condom, but you're not going to protect it if you don't grow. Okay. If you don't expand, you will not protect yourself. If you don't expand your family will die out. Look at the family dynamic. Okay. Your family dynamic will get smaller. Okay. I don't have a mother. I don't have a father. I lost an older brother. I have 2 older sisters that are probably, you know, they're getting up there. No uncles, no grandparents, no aunts. Like literally, like I'm down to a handful of people. Now, how do I expand my base? I added Scarlett, I got married, added Sabrina, I got 3. Now what do I do? Oh, now I need to add beyond the Cardone name. That's my family. You guys are an extension of my family and my name and my brand. So let's do this, guys.
Let's go.
But who do I want in my family? How many of you'd like to have me at your family Thanksgiving dinner or your Christmas? How many of you would feel comfortable inviting me into your home? Look at all these people that invite me. There was a time in my life where nobody would invite me into their home. Put yes in there. Yeah, Grant, come over for lunch. Come over for dinner. Let's have a bottle of wine together. Let's have a cigar together. Let's go hang out on the beach together. Why would you guys feel safe enough to have me in your home? Probably because of what I've done. You know, probably because of what I've done. It's not because I'm a nice guy. So the same thing for you guys. I want to be able to invite you guys into my home. You know, I'm going to come into your home. I don't want anything from you. I don't need your money. I'm not going to cause any problems for you. I'm probably going to help you expand by being there. That's why you'd want me in your home. Okay. So who do I want in my home around my kids? I want other people that are winning. That's why I hang out with Brandon and Natalie. They're winning. And they're not caught up in a bunch of problems. And mostly Brandon could be a problem, but he's so busy. Natalie keeps him so busy, he can't become a problem. Hey, I love you guys, man.
Love you too. I appreciate you jumping on, G. It's good seeing you.
Yeah, always good to see you. I can't wait to be with you guys again.
Thank you, brother.
CG.
Okay.
So look, anybody that's on here that is just heard him say a premier ticket might have popped up. If you're interested in a premier ticket, you need to let the team know, because those things are, I guarantee you, this isn't right now. It's 8:46 in Miami. So the sales team in Miami at Cardone's probably all going home, or they're probably still working. But if you're interested in a premier ticket, you better, oh, he already sold. Ashley says, oh, 2 already sold since he said that. Yeah. So if you're interested, look, I'm going to tell you, this is going to be a growth con that is going to go down in history. I happen to know on the inside what's going on. And I can tell you that the fact is we sold this thing out without promoting a single speaker or our entertainment or anything. This is going to be quite an ordeal.
Remarkable.
I know you're.
I'm excited. We have a lot of great speakers in the lineup.
And I told Dwayne, I told Dwayne a little bit, but then I told him I'd kill him if they told anybody. So, and he's too valuable. So we got to be careful here. So look, here's what I'd say. You heard it from G. Like you understand the magnitude of the mission that we have here, and so when we are talking about creating all this stuff, now G relies on guys like us and people like Natalie, and again, International Women's Day. You know, I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for my amazing Natalie. So here's the thing. The deal is that we have been recruited. You know, once we shared a mutual vision with G, I went out and recruited people from the professional sector that I knew that I needed to have in our arsenal to help us do it. And we've put together a hell of a team here.
Yeah, we have a remarkable team. I mean, we're getting ready to cross 100 employees, and we'll probably have 200 by the end of next year. And I mean, really top-notch individuals. I mean,
we launched our private equity group. We're now co-funding deals. We launched our buy-sell business. We launched the HVAC vertical business. Mm-hmm. We have the health business. These are all things I'm going to talk about at GrowthCon. We have the cybersecurity business coming out. We have the financial services business, the insurance business. We've got the high net worth money management guys, the advisors. We've got plumbing. We've got concrete. We've got home services, flooring, windows, flooring, electronics. These are all partners that we've signed this year, because we're going to go as we get them organized and structured, we're going to go start acquiring businesses in partnership with them. So people ask, like, what if I've got a small business? It doesn't matter, man. There's billions of businesses to go by. Educate yourself, put yourself in play. When people ask me, what do I need to do? Because I mentor some kids that are coming out of college or don't want to go to college. And they're like, if there is something I could do for, say, $5,000 to educate myself, to put myself in play, to do something huge, what would you spend it on, Brandon? And I said two things. This, how to buy a business with no money down, because that's exactly, by the way, you're going to hear in this program. That's how I started. I bought a business with no money. Okay. And I bought millions of dollars of businesses with no money. So I talk about that and lay out exactly how I did it. Second thing I tell them is master Cardone you. You do those two things, you'll minimally make $250,000 to $500,000 a year, and you have an opportunity to become a billionaire. You just master those two things. So I'm talking to all of you on here. Now, many of you are in different life cycles. You've done the 360, you've gone through the platform, you've done all this stuff. So look, you're on the forefront of taking control and doing the things you want to do. So do we have any questions of any new people that we don't know? I'm just looking at the hands. It's hard for me to see, but if we do, let's see. Who should we bring on here? Joshua, why don't you come on? Joshua Rosenberg. Let's bring him on. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Awesome. Thank you for letting me ask a question. So my question is, I'm in landscape, and there is a competitor in town who's been doing it for a long time, and they have basically exactly what I want to build up to. And I was just wondering, how can I create value, without having everything that they have? They have such a great system, and I just want to be able to, also provide value for people that we, have competing like proposals for and whatnot.
Yeah. So let me give you a little guidance, everybody. First of all, congratulations on being respectful of your competitor. Like, a lot of people look down on their competitors and talk bad about them. And so whatever you're talking about, you're going to be known for. So to be able to talk positive about it and actually respect your competitor, that's a positive quality. Now, what you want to do is understand how they got there, because if you got to learn about life cycles of business, and the break points are important. 100,000, 3 million, 3 million, 8 million, 8 million, 15 million, 15 million, 25 million. If you understand the break points, then you can go have a conversation, or you can reverse engineer based on data what your competitor's done. You can mystery shop them, or honestly, you can pick up the phone and say, I have so much respect for what you've done. I would love to buy you lunch and introduce myself to you. And I want to have a business that looks like your business, but I want to be respectful of what you've built. And now, if you're in a big market, or there's another market, you'd say, if I came in and did an apprentice with you for a few years, would you be willing to expand to a new market and make me a business partner? That's another way to do this. So, it's not always doing it by yourself. Sometimes you give a little up to get some, like I did with Grant. I went to Grant. Look, I was already independently successful. I was worth $100 million. I created all this stuff, but I had a problem. I did not know how to do what Grant Cardone knows how to do. And I recognized that I would be a fool to try to go recreate what Grant's an expert at, try to recreate the momentum that Grant's already created. I'd be an idiot to go try to compete against the Grant Cardone name and brand. So instead of competing, I went to him with a value proposition. And I would suggest that maybe that's how you guys should go meet with people you respect in business and say, what would I need to do that in 36 months, if I executed the highest level of any relationship you ever had, you would have the confidence to back me to go into another market, and I'll sign a non-compete. I'll never compete in this market. I'll either work with you or I'll go to a different market. And I'm telling you guys, if you were willing to do that, there's business owners that dominate their micro market, but they want to expand to a regional market. So there's huge opportunities there. So I would just encourage you to reverse engineer what they've done, understand the break points. And if you have you been to a 10X scale or a 360?
Yes.
So on either of those, I think I talk about the break points. So just remember those break points and try to go back and understand what their cycle's been for the last 3 to 5 years and reverse engineer what they've done. Because the first part of getting to where somebody else is understanding how they got there.
Awesome.
But if you don't have your perspective and you don't have the respect that you're showing this person, the way you communicate about them, then you'll be blinded. Intellectual ignorance and arrogance will blind you. Intellectual awareness and intellectual curiosity will help you fill in the gaps. So stay positive. And then if you can find a way to meet that person by adding value in their life, don't be afraid to try to do that either.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great question, buddy. Hey, let's bring Jackie in. We got to bring Jackie in. It is International Women's Day. I have a feeling Jackie's going to contribute to all the women in the world. Jackie.
Good evening. How are you tonight?
Wonderful. Thank
Hi,
you.
Jackie.
Thank you for taking my call. You say all of the time, you talk about the $250K per $90,000 of revenue. So I guess I don't understand how you really figure what should be your cost of sales. Do you take a percentage off of that $250,000? How do you figure out how you work that with the cost of sales?
Yeah. So the
not just-
90,000 is your labor cost,
Got it?
and you got to add yourself into the labor cost. So if you're doing the work, you got to add yourself into that.
Got
The
it.
250 is the revenue. Now that leaves $160,000 to run your business on.
I understand that.
You should establish 25% as your profitability target. So that the simple math is, if you have $250,000 of revenue and you have $90,000 of labor costs, that leaves 160. And if your target on the $250,000 is 25% profit, that's 50. So your labor cost and your profit target are $140,000. So now you got to run your business on 110,000.
Thank you. That made it very clear to me. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Great question. I love it when I get asked simply great questions. All right, let's see who's next here. Let's see, who should we bring on? Jesse, you want to come on, bud?
You there?
Yeah, good to see you, man.
Hey, good seeing you. Thanks for last
Hey,
week.
hey, this is our new, we're going to make hay together, Jesse and I.
We're gonna bale hay, and you're gonna come drive a truck, right?
He's in the hay business. We're going to make hay, 10X hay.
Oh man. Hey, so with a question about acquiring a lot of my competitors, they're family businesses. So they're a little, on the fence, I guess, about whether they'd want to sell or not. They've got family in the business, grandkids coming down the way. What's a good way to approach that and navigate that?
Yeah, tell them that you want to help facilitate that, and you've engaged 10X buy sell to help you see how to put their experts in family businesses. Because let me just tell everybody, navigating family businesses, especially in an acquisition strategy, is probably one of the hardest things you can do, because there's so much emotion involved from so many different angles. And so having a professional that can be an intermediary that knows how to handle that is going to give you the best success. So what I would do is just reach out and say, you have an active interest in expansion. You don't even know if they're interested in doing something or not, but you'd at least like to entertain the conversation. You've hired a group of experts that work with family businesses to help you look at the whole landscape and find something that would work for you. And you'd be interested in knowing if they'd be interested in having any kind of conversation around this. Yep. If you just master that and get us in the middle, everything else will go smoother.
I figured you guys could handle it.
Yeah, I love it, buddy. Let's go look at some hay, man.
Yep,
Everyone needs some hay. All right. Good to see you, brother. I'm looking forward to crushing it with you.
Thanks.
All right. Let's bring Brian on. Brian.
Unmute.
How are
Hey,
you, buddy?
Brandon. Hey,
Good to see you.
Brandon. How are you? Good.
Good.
So my question is, you and Grant both talk all the time about staying focused on one thing and being committed. And so in the context of this whole conversation about going out and buying other businesses, like at what level does it make logical sense for you to take your focus off your current business and then go out to do those acquisitions or to do that part?
Yeah. So there's no logic in taking your eye off the current business. The logic is in complementing the current business and finding and buying connected businesses to the existing business, unless the existing business needs to be abandoned because you can't hit the minimum targets to make it work. So if you're spinning your wheels, because there's a lot of great people that get into the wrong vehicle.
Mhm.
So if you're sitting here going, look, I've been grinding at this for 4 or 5 years. I can't hit even 200 grand or 300 grand. There's like, my margins are thin. This is an uphill battle. There's nothing wrong with saying what would be something that would allow me to expand. Now, Mike Ledoux just put in here, see, he's paying attention because we're looking at a business to actually buy and partner with Mike on, because he's in that area, and it's a disconnected business. But Mike's business is tapped out for what we think he can do in that marketplace. So he has no alternative. And he's been setting up the infrastructure for his team to take over his business so he can put his energy and effort. And like he said, when you have 18 months of cash flow in your bank, that's an indicator you've run a disciplined business and you've got a team in there, and then you can expand outside of your business. So there's key indicators. But if your business is working and it's continually growing and you're able to scale it bigger, what you want to do then is look for complementary businesses that become connected businesses within the market. So for example, we're doing a lot in the HVAC space. So a lot of these HVAC guys are going and buying plumbing businesses because they're so dependent on the plumbers to do their part. So it's just like with Silva's, we're pouring pools. And so they couldn't get a third party to come in with the concrete trucks. So let's go buy them and now create a business out of that. And so it's like buying connected businesses that complement the business, the core business. When you have a healthy core business, that's a phenomenal way to grow. So if it's a disconnected business, it's only when your existing business works and you got all the discipline and you got the cash protection and all that, because that shows you know how to run a responsible business. And now you can be moved to an entrepreneur status and collect different kinds of businesses because you know how to manage them and build teams.
Yeah. So what's the criteria for knowing you're riding on a dead horse? Is it just that $250K per head and 25% profit margin? Would those be the best?
If you can never get, if you're struggling to get there and it's just like, you just feel like, man, I'm just like beating a dead horse here and I just can't get traction and my margins are thin and I have no confidence, then I would go all in on developing yourself and these concepts and these things. And then I would look for something that, like Grant said, it's easier to buy something that's already doing $1 million or $2 million in revenue if you can buy it for almost no money down and put your attention on that. At least it's more interesting.
And do you talk about credit score in that program? Like, do you have to have great credit, or does it matter? It doesn't matter.
No, you got to find great deals.
Yeah. Awesome.
If you can find a great deal, you'll always be able to find the money.
If
or somebody to do it with.
Dwayne is so right. If you bring a great deal, God, that's a great picture of me. I don't know where that picture came from, but I need to frame that. Anyhow, so usually they have goofy pictures of me. So I'm really proud that the team found a good picture. And I'm wearing the same sweater right now. You would think I just took this picture.
Should have worn my sweater.
I think that was GrowthCon last year. So look, great question. And Dwayne's right. It's just like if you walked into Grant and you said, hey, I got $150 million multifamily project that my friend is thinking of selling. No one knows about it. It's a phenomenal building. I'll bring this straight to you and I want a little percentage of the deal. Grant would say, let's go look at it. Right. So sometimes just finding the deal gets you in the door. Great question. All right. So let's go. We got one more question. Can you go back to the screen? I'm going to pick, let's see. Why don't we grab Michael? Hey, Michael, how you doing, man?
Hello, thank you so much.
Sure,
Hear me?
Michael. Yes,
you can.
Yeah. So about the 70, I don't really see the difference between predictability and potential. I don't really see what the difference, predictability and potential for me. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I can't quite hear you. So I think what you need to do is get the microphone closer to.
Okay, so about the 70, predictability and potential. I want to know the difference between these two things.
Between potential and between
potential.
Potential and profitability.
Potential and profitability. Is that your question?
Predictability. The two
predictability and potential. Got it.
and potential. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
thank you.
so that's a great question. Predictability is when you have the same thing result happening over long periods of time. So let's say I buy a business that's always doing $200,000. I look at the profit and loss statements, and for 7 years, it's done $250,000 of profit, like 7 years. That's predictability. Like if you keep doing what you're doing, it's fairly predictable. Potential is I know that there's other businesses that are doing $250,000 every single year, like clockwork. And I go to buy a business and it's doing 80,000. And it's like, I know that if I made that business look like this business, it could do 250. So that's the potential of a business versus the predictability of a business. Does that answer your question? Can't hear you.
The predictability. For me, I see it like kind of potential, even if I already do that, but it's the power, it's the vision, the predictability. I can count that like the potential. If you know,
I think what you should do, hey, do me a favor, put your question in writing, because it's very hard to hear you. And then I'll answer your question. Where are you calling from, by the way?
Okay, I'm calling from Martinique, French island. So that's why.
That's great.
Martinique?
Martinique, yeah.
Yeah, dude. How about we all just come visit you and we'll meet in person?
I'm sure there's some businesses we can buy in Martinique. Nice resort on the beach.
Love it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. Put your question in writing and I'll answer it, but good to see you. I'll take one more here. We'll do let's do where'd he go? He's bouncing around. Let's do Tracy B. Hey, Tracy. Can't hear you. It's on their side. All right, we'll give you a second here. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. All right, you try to figure your volume. Let's go to Barry Smith real quick.
Hey, Brandon, good to see you, man.
You too, buddy. How you doing, man?
Doing well, man. Really appreciate the scaling workshop. Anybody who hasn't done it and wants to grow their business, definitely recommend that. Yeah, my question, I mean, what do you do? I'm part of an organization where you are a trusted advisor, very well known. How do you have a conversation with the decision maker to really say, dude, you gotta spend some time with Brandon and, you know, execute on his suggestions, his success, what he knows to make a difference in the organization. So much room and opportunity for improvement, impact, and just, you know, and through my set of eyes, just some missed opportunities. So how do I position that conversation with a decision maker?
Well, if we were role playing, I would say exactly what you just said.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's pretty damn good role play. Like, I don't have to correct you like that. I would say just that. And then here's the thing. If that person really respects you and you're a high contributor and they're like, nah, man, I'm going to do my own thing, then you should take this how to buy a business with no money down class and do your own thing. This is the problem. You get trapped with somebody else that's in charge and they don't want to make good decisions when you see all this opportunity. Then that's an indicator to you that if your goals are tied to their goals, you know, you may have a problem.
And Barry, what I would tell you is just like you were saying there, I mean, just ask that person, ask that individual, say, what is your vision for the business? Where do you see this going in 5 or 10 years? And then make sure that your vision is aligned with theirs and you can see the capacity and growth in the business that creates room for yourself and everybody else.
Awesome, man.
If not, if you could paint a bigger vision, then he might be like, man, maybe you need to partner with.
Yeah. And you could say, look, dude, I believe in this so much and I want to do this with you so much. I'm willing to write a check for us to go to a boot camp or a growth con, if there was tickets or something, and bring them to what you've seen and experienced. Try to bring them along and share with them. And if you go through all that and somebody's closed-minded and you see that the business could be doing so much better, then you have to ask yourself, am I in the right place?
Great question. Thank you, Brandon, man. I'll see you in a couple
brother.
weeks.
Good seeing you.
Man.
All right, we're going to do one more. We're going to go back to Tracy to see if we can hear him. Tracy, how are you, man? Oh boy. You still can't hear you. Whatever you're doing, man, it ain't working. No, we can't hear you. All right. So I2, let's see, what is that? I can't see it because you guys I2R CNC. Let's bring him on and we'll close off with this question.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can. Yeah. How you doing, man?
Hey, Brandon, good to see you. It's Sonny from I2R CNC. I was at your 10X 360 about 2 weeks ago. And I just want to say it was a pleasure. I loved everything. It was great meeting you. I didn't really talk much in the class because I was just soaking everything in. My mind was just blown. But yeah, I just want to take the time to say I appreciate all the knowledge you share. And I really loved the course. I'll also be at the 10X Growth conference too.
Awesome, dude. Well, thank you for trusting us, working with us, and for popping on and saying hello to everybody.
Yes, sir. My
Awesome.
question is actually, so I know going through all the Cardone training, I know Grant's always talking about you shouldn't diversify too much. So for us, as we're trying to grow, we recently did $1.28 million in sales last year, and we're trying to hit 3 million this year. But what happened is we started hit a sinkhole as far as our sales at the beginning of this year, and typically our product usually costs around $4,000, and right now we're trying to offer a lower priced product, and the problem is I'm not sure if we should worry about divesting energy into marketing a new product when we still have this prime product that we're growing right now, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, look, dude, you got, that $1 million stretch to 3 million is a micro break point, because you can get $1 million on personality and on a couple products, but the sustainability of that and pushing, you should be creating products that add to the products that already work.
Okay.
But you should not be creating disconnected products and trying to introduce something into your environment that wasn't there before.
Okay. So to
Because
clarify,
it's confusing to your clients.
okay, got it. I guess to give some context, we sell CNC machinery for woodworking, and we sell mainly to businesses. And typically what we've been seeing in the last 3 months is that a lot of the hobby customers that can't afford our product, that's been a big issue. So we lose that sale. So we were thinking about introducing maybe a lower tiered product.
Yeah. Look, dude, it's called market segmentation, and it's productizing the market segmentation. So, you should have, I tell every business owner, you should have a low, middle, and high price. Look at what's our growth con? We have executive, VIP, and diamond, and then elite diamond. So, you got to have market segmentation, because somebody who buys your lower end machine today might build a big enough business that tomorrow they buy the next level. And then next thing you know, they're buying the next one, and they have all three because they built a big business. So lean into all those relationships. Just make sure not all customers are equal. Do not spend the same amount of energy, effort, time, and overcommit to the low end price. Make sure you value proposition it so that you can grow and scale with the value that they're creating for your business. So create service offerings that support the different revenue sizes.
Great. I love that.
Awesome, buddy. Good seeing you. I'm going to give Tracy one more time. He swears he fixed his audio. I feel bad leaving him hanging, and then we're going to end the night on that. If we can find Tracy, we're going to give him one more. There he is. Tracy, how you doing, man?
Hi. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Excellent. Greetings from down under. So I'm an Australian. I've just found 10X and you guys over the last couple of months. I've bought Grant's license, so I'm now a licensee, and I'm about to coming all the way from Australia to Miami for GrowthCon as a diamond. So looking forward to that. I really want to sign up for the 90-day challenge, because I actually am going to start to roll out a global fitness brand starting in Australia. We want to get it to $1 million value within 90 days. So my question to you is, when have you got time in your diary to talk to me about what it looks like to go global?
So the good thing is the way we create our system is we have programs that allow people to get access to how we recommend they grow and scale and create value within their business. It starts with something like our accelerator program or our 10X 360, our scale program, and then the 10X 360 program. And that's how people get exposure to me talking about how to create the opportunity, because otherwise I find myself, there's no value in me speaking one-on-one when I've created a life's work of content and we do it in group settings. If somebody wants me to spend personal time with them, they pay me $200,000 a year for 12 hours. And I'm stunned that anybody would do that. But the funny thing is I have no schedule appointments left because Amanda keeps filling them with people who want to do that. So I just keep raising my price. So for me, that's why we have our programs, is to help you go, because you're not going to figure it out in 90 days. It's going to take more effort than that if you've not done it, because practicing is a slow way to do it. So the best way to do it is this business buying accelerator program. I'm telling you guys, even if you're not interested in buying a business, you just want to educate yourself, because sometimes the fastest way to build a global brand is to buy somebody else's that screwed it up.
Yeah.
And Tracy, reach out to us at 10X Buy Sell. I do have a fitness business that's for sale in Australia.
See that? See how fast this happens? You guys just can't believe we look at tens of thousands of deals. So when someone says what they're looking for, we might be able to just find it for you right away. Tracy, hey, first of all, thank you for being part of the 10X community. We love Australia. My friends just sold, dear friends, just sold their hearing business there. And it was their second exit, massive deal. They've taken over $1 billion off the table. And so, you know, I love Australia, and I love the fact that you're coming all the way over here to GrowthCon. And I'm just thrilled that our world's opening back up. And if we could just get this stuff in Russia and, Ukraine figured out, then we could all move forward. It sounds like no one's talking about COVID anymore. So we're all more worried about a nuke or something. So bigger issues every day than the day before. And for all of us in business, unless we do get nuked, we got to put our heads down and make some magic happen, because there are plenty of people that need enthusiasm. They need reassurance. They need excitement. They need coaching. They need to get their mind right. They need to get their body right, which is exactly what Tracy's talking about. And they need to get their money right. And if they get all that right, well, like Grant says, if you're going to be unhappy, you might as well be rich and unhappy.
That's 10X.
This concludes. We're going to do one more. Hey, if you guys want to watch, I've been dropping a bunch of podcasts on the B. Dawson show. And on iTunes, and on you want to put my channel on there, or you can go to my YouTube channel, or you can go to my podcast, the B. Dawson Show, on iTunes. But I've been dropping a whole bunch of podcasts on these owners that are absolutely crushing it. So either the YouTube channel or the podcast, but you should go listen to some of those stories, because they are absolutely incredible. And I'm so proud of our owners that are just absolutely crushing it tonight. And Dwayne, thank you for being my co-host tonight.
Thank you, Brandon. I enjoyed talking to everyone, and this is fantastic. Can't wait to see you all at GrowthCon.
GrowthCon's going to be remarkable, amazing, incredible. Go to my podcast or to my YouTube channel and watch some of these shows, get you warmed up for GrowthCon and give you an idea of some of the things we're going to be talking about. So this concludes. Oh, by the way, put that link in, put the link in again for 10xownersonly.com. So if you guys want to get involved, there you go. Premier tickets, 10xownersonly.com. You want to go, whatever. Let's do it all, man. Let's do it all. And let's 10x everything. So it's great seeing you guys on another great Tuesday night. We'll see you next week on the next 10X Owners Live.
The whole purpose of this show is to engage with business owners and be able to answer questions for people that will give them some insight and perspective on how to grow and scale a business. Not only leadership, but real life examples. This is the golden moment. I would do business with you right now.